that are not constant and average rate of change. Average rate of change we will talk about. Um, it's just meaning take the average of the points and see what is the closest to the real rate of changes you can have. So if you look, so if you look at this graph, notice it's talking about a distance, and it's talking about a skateboarder and his distance from a motion detector. So if you look, segment A, it starts at 0, 0. Of course, these aren't labeled, just like on the activity from the card sorting activity we did. So notice A is moving away because the distance is increasing. B is horizontal. Um, so we'll talk about what that means. C is moving negative, so the distance is decreasing. And then D makes that curve. So segment blank is horizontal. So segment B is horizontal. And again, you can pause the video and see if you can look at this and figure out what all the answers are. But I'm going to go ahead and explain now. So which means the skateboarder is still. He's not moving. He's not increasing his distance. He's not decreasing his distance, so he's standing in the same spot. The skateboarder is moving blank during segment A, then segment C. So if you look at A and C, what is happening in A than in C? If you notice, this is what we talked about, like moving slower, moving faster, running or walking. Segment A is faster than segment C because it's increasing or going up at a faster rate. So segment A, during segment A than segment C. Now, segments blank, blank, and blank all show a blank rate. So what do you notice about A, or what do you notice about any of them? There's 3 of them that have something the same, and then one of them that's different. Well, the only one that's different is D because it curves. So then it would be segment A, B, and C. Oops. Whoopsie, whoopsie, whoopsie. Oh, man. Oops. Let me try that again. Sorry, don't know what my computer's doing. Okay, let's try that again. Segment B is still faster. A, B, C all show a what type of rate. So since A is a straight line and C is a straight line, it's a constant rate. And B is constant too, even though it's not moving, it's constantly standing still in that segment. And then the speed of the skateboarder at the beginning of segment D is blank than the speed at the end. So if you look at the beginning of D, see how it's almost flat, and then D at the end of it, it's almost straight up. So it is slower at the beginning than at the end. Okay, now let's look at 6. If you notice this graph, it starts out at a distance of 2. It's moving away until it gets to 9 feet, and then it starts slowly moving back. So I want you to pause this again and see if you can figure out what values go in this table. Okay, I let you pause it. So 0, the distance, so at 0 time, the distance is 2. At 1 second, the distance is 3. At 3 seconds, the distance is 7. At 5 seconds, the distance is 9. At 8 seconds, the distance is 8. And at 10 seconds, the distance is 7. Now, if you look at this, at any point is this going a constant rate? Remember, a constant rate means it's a line, so a straight line. At any point, is this a straight line? That's what we're going to look at. Okay, so it says next you will use the points to calculate the average rate of change. So I'm going to actually do this on my paper because I think it takes too long, and you need to have it written on your paper too. So it's time, distance, so 0, 1, 3, 5, 8, 10, and then 2, 3, 7, 9, 8, 7. Man, my thing is moving really, really slow this morning. Okay, so how much did it increase from 2 to 3? It went up by 1. From 3 to 7 goes up by 4. And again, you can subtract. 7 minus 3 is 4. 9 minus 7 is 2. 8 minus 9 would be negative 1. And 7 minus 8 would be negative 1 as well. Okay? Then do the other side. Time is increasing. 1, 2, 2, 3, 2. I'm going to skip to the end. So let's do 2, negative 1, negative 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 2. Okay, so that is our graph. You can see that from 1 to 3, it looks like it has, or it has the largest rate of change, because notice it's going 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1, 2. So 4 over 2 is 2. Okay, now how it words it, or how your problems will be worded, it will say something like find the average rate of change from 3 to 5 seconds. We call those intervals. So you would look from 3 to 5 seconds. So from 3 to 5 seconds, so that's right here. What is the average rate of change? So for the average rate of change, you're going to just look between the points that it talks about. So it changed from 7 to 9 and 3 to 5. So it changed 2, again, take the dependent and divide by the independent. So 2 divided by 2, 2 divided by 2 is 1. So the average rate from 3 to 5 seconds is 1. And you can see that on the graph. From 3 to 5, it goes up 2 over 2. So it was an average rate of 1. Okay, then it says find it from 5 to 8 seconds. So I would be looking at this point right here. So the average rate from 5 to 8, it went down 1 over 3, so it'd be negative 1/3 or negative 0.33. You can look at it here on the graph. It went down 1 over 3, so that's where we got the negative 1/3. And then the last interval it tells us to do is from 8 to 10. Let me find another pen. Oops, I can't find it. Oh, there's a purple. Here we go. So from 8 to 10, so then I'm looking at this part. Average rate from 8 to 10. So I would do negative 1 divided by 2, which is just negative 0.5. You can see it on the graph, goes down 1 over 2. Now, in my opinion, I think it's easier to look at the graph, but it is completely up to you. You can also say what was the average rate. So if you look, what was the average rate from 0 to 5 seconds? So if I look from 0 to 5 seconds, whatever interval they give you, you're going to just find the rate of that. So average rate from 0 to 5 seconds. So it went from 0 to 5, and it went from 2 to 9. So it went up 7, so 2 to 9. Sorry, my thing is frozen again. So from 2 to 9, it went up 7 seconds, or 7 feet, and then from 0 to 5, it went up 5. So 7 divided by 5 7 divided by 5 is 1.4. So that would be the average rate. It doesn't matter what place they say. If it said average rate of that, you would, it would just be the average rate from this point to that point right there. So that would be the line. I should have done a different color, sorry. Let me try a different color. So it would be that point right there. That would be your line between those 2 points. So that's the average rate of change in that